Hello guys and welcome again to my channel where I talk about financial and career success. Now in this video I will talk about how you can go about acing a one-way or a recorded interview. Now what I mean by this is a format which is becoming very much famous these days given the number of applicants that are applying for a job and the availability of AI and machine learning. What is happening is the recruiter will send you a link, say go on the link. On the link, when you go, there will be your interview recorded. So you will get some questions, a prompt written in front of you, and then you will be required to answer that particular question as you are being recorded in a given time. And as soon as the time gets over, then you are moved to the next question. Typically, it's around 15 to 20 to max 30 minutes worth of an interview. It's kind of a replacement of a screening interview. Previously, the HR would call like 20-30 applicants who have been shortlisted out of 100 applicants. The HR would call them and then shortlist maybe 5 or 6 out of those 20-30 so that those shortlisted candidates can be taken to the hiring manager or the team who is hiring. However, now with the technology getting better and better, this task has been moved to technology whereby the shortlisting happens through recorded interviews. Either those recorded interviews will be reviewed by the recruiter or they will be reviewed by AI itself. Additionally, let me also call out, I will be sharing a bonus tip towards the end of this video. So make sure you stay tuned till the end. And that bonus tip, trust me, is $1 million bonus tip. Actually, it is the tip because of which I'm making this video, but I thought let's make it a complete video and share with you not just one tip because it is the golden tip, but some other tips as well. So make sure you stay tuned till the end. Now, before I move forward and explain how you can go about acing such interviews, I have to ask for you. One, press the like button in case you find this video valuable. And second, press the subscribe button along with the bell icon so you get notified as soon as I put a new content on this channel. Now, both of these tasks, if you do, will go a long way for my channel. I will be able to improve the quality, the content, and the production value. In case you want me to continue making unbiased content like this, you can also support me on patreon.com. I will leave the link to my Patreon page in the description of this video. Now let's get rolling into what are those tips so you can go about acing a recorded or a one-way interview. Now, number one is to follow the instructions. So the instructions that are given to you by the recruiter. Now, I'm the kind of person who's not very much into the details. Usually, if I see a long email, I kind of skim and I just move on. However, here it is very important that you need to know what are the instructions, what is the deadline, what is the login permission, what device you need to use, which website you will be taken to where the recording will happen, what will be the time limit for each question, and even at times they would give you the questions that you should be expected to ask or give you some guideline or some tips with regards to what kind of questions they would be asking. So make sure you read it thoroughly. It's only when you read it, you understand what you have to do, as against you going on the day and then clicking on going on the website and then realizing something that you don't know and you should have known. So read the instructions. Number two is to make sure you do your homework. What I mean by doing your homework is to have an idea as to what the job is looking for, what the company is looking for, and basis that you can kind of judge or qualify or have a guess on what kind of questions will be asked. Essentially, what you need to do is go through the job description, highlight keywords or key skills they are looking for. Let's say leadership, collaboration, communication, some technical skills as well. Just highlight all of them because these are the skills that they would be kind of qualifying in the recorded interview. This is what happens when the HR recruiter calls you and is trying to do the shortlisting on a small interview. Usually it's a phone interview. They're kind of going through the job description, looking for those key things, whether you have them or not. And then they will take your resume to the hiring manager and say that I had a call with this particular individual and they have these particular skills that we are looking for, and hence you can process this individual further into the hiring process. This is what the recorded interview is also doing. So they will be asking you questions which are already very much obvious in the job description or in the values of the company. So go on the company website and also check what kind of individuals the company hires. There would be certain principles or values that they would have listed down for that particular company. Make sure that you embody those principles, those values. And essentially what you need to do, which is my next point, is prepare your answers because you know what skills they're looking for, you know what the company is looking for in terms of the values and the characteristics, and hence make sure you prepare your answers. So if they are looking for someone who will lead a team, make sure you have an answer with regards to an example from your past where you led a team, or maybe they're looking for your expertise on a particular technology. So make sure you are ready to answer from your experience any tools or systems that you've used which they have called out in their job description. Similarly, for example, if they're asking for communication, so then you should have an example from your past where you made use of effective communication to solve a particular problem. Make sure you write all of this down, because there is no one who's watching you except the camera. You can write all of this down and put it in front of you. I'll tell you how you can use it, because if you look down, they will think you're cheating, but I will exactly tell you later in the video how you can avoid being looked at as someone who is cheating, rather still be able to use those notes that are in front of you. Additionally, talking about preparing for the answers, also prepare for typical HR questions. Why do you want this job? Why are you leaving your current job? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What do you bring to the table? How will you add value to the company? These are very typical HR questions. Make sure you also are ready with them. Again, you have a cheat sheet in front of you, and all these answers should be written down on that cheat sheet. Now, don't write every word, just write key bullets. So during the process, you can only refer to those bullets and then make a story out of it and then present it as you are being recorded. Again, as I said, I will explain how you can go about looking at the document, but that is something I will explain later. Now, next is practice, practice, practice. Here, the solution is that maybe record yourself in front of a camera, or have someone sit in front of you and deliver an interview. I'd rather say you do it in front of a camera because you are being recorded, and hence it's better that you record yourself giving an interview, giving some answers, and then play back and see how you can improve. Next tip is with regards to your body language. Make sure you look at the camera and you're not looking anywhere else. And second is make sure you dress up. Third is make sure you also have some body language going on, making use of your hands, some eye gestures, some facial gestures in order to make a point that you are making. Now, second last one is, before we go on the bonus tip, is to make sure you have an eye on the clock as well, because your answers would be time bound, probably 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Make sure you have an eye on that, because as soon as you are reaching towards the end of your time limit, let's say towards the end 20% or 25% of your time limit, which I mean is if it's a 2-minute time limit, towards the last 30 seconds, you should be wrapping up your answer. You should be just closing it in. You should not wait for the last second before you start to wrap up. You should wrap up early. Now moving to the bonus tip, and this is where I will teach you how you can go about cheating through the notes in front of you. What I suggest is, and this is $1 million advice, when you will get a question in a recorded interview, make sure you use 25% of that time to look down and write what you have to say. Don't answer immediately. As soon as you see the answer, just look down and write what you have to say. Structure your thoughts. And structure your thoughts in bullets. Like, this is what you will say number 1, this is what you will say number 2, this is what you will say number 3. Now, ideally, you have some answers already written down on your cheat sheet. So maybe you can use those answers to make up the answer for this particular question if it's a new question. And if it is a question for which you already have an answer on the cheat sheet, beautiful, it is already written there. Now, since in front of the camera, you look down and you were writing, you now have the permission to look down as you are delivering your answer. So let's say you say point number 1, you say point number 2, and now you've forgotten point number 3. You can look down again and pick up the point number 3 and then talk about that. But again, spend 25% of your time. So let's say if it's a 2-minute time clock, then 30 seconds should go in you structuring your thoughts. If it's a 3-minute, maybe you can take 45 seconds to a minute. Make sure you take sufficient time to structure your thoughts. This will go a long way. It is not the right answer which will kill you. It is the time. You have to deliver that right answer in that time. So you'd rather take your time to structure so much mumbo jumbo going on in your head, structure it down so you can deliver it in 1.5 minutes. So let's say if it's a 2-minute limit, you take 30 seconds to structure your thoughts and then 1.5 minutes to deliver those thoughts. And if, let's say, there are 3 bullets, probably you take 30 seconds to talk about each bullet. So you kind of structured your balanced time as well. Don't rush into it. I know there will be pressure because you'll see the clock running and you'll feel like I have to answer immediately. But if you do that, at best you will be able to give one answer or one bullet, and after that you will be all blank because now you're thinking as you're talking. Anyways guys, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully this video was helpful. In case it was, I'm sure you'll find value in another video which I have on my channel where I talk about how you can introduce yourself. You can check it out here. Other than that, there is another video where I talk about what are the reverse interview questions that you should be asking in an interview. You can check it out here. Thank you.